Here we go with the new course. It's called Bending the Curve, Climate Change Solutions, edited by our dear Veerabhadran Ramanathan from UC San Diego. The book actually came out of an initiative in the UC system, the University of California system, when Janet Napolitano took over as the president of the system. She comes with a very impressive pedigree, served as Attorney General, Governor, Head of Homeland Security, and so on. And she wanted to make the University of California system carbon neutral by 2025. So the book basically put together many ideas on climate change solutions and kind of converted it into a book for educating on climate change solutions that can work for everybody across the world. Okay, it's fantastic. Here are the topics we will go through. Concepts and solutions. So climate change, which is the first chapter, humans, nature, and the quest for climate justice. We will see that climate change produces winners and losers within the same country as well as across international boundaries, tropics versus mid-latitudes, for example. Climate change and human health. We are in the middle of COVID. COVID is not directly related to climate change, but in general, the contact between bats and humans or other contacts between animals and humans and incidences of zoonotic diseases, jumping from animals to humans, humans to animals, and the survival of the viruses with people moving around a lot, right? COVID exploded across the world because of people's movements. So we will look at some of the issues there. Overview of the 10 solutions for bending the curve, and then look at the 10 solutions, how you can play a role, what kind of social transformations are needed, what are the points of view from religion and ethics. Okay, so we will see something about how changing attitudes and norms in the social transformations matter, and how religion and ethics and culture can play into that. This is a serious problem now because we are either trying to see ourselves as the stewards of the environment, or we are trying to decide whether we should be the ones trying to save Earth, or is that somebody, some higher powers business, right? Communicating climate change. Many detailed works exist on this, but this is one viewpoint from Richard Somerville. Lessons from California. We'll go through that just to see what they learned. Paris Agreement and its implementation. Already many countries are committed to it and planning to go through with it and make the changes needed. And of course, US has just signed off officially from it, but this is hopefully a temporary thing because the elections have just concluded and a new president could well put US back into Paris Agreement. The economics of emissions, impacts and policies, cost-effective climate policies. So economists always want to see return on investments and what are the issues there. 2 evolving energy technology pathways, environmentally sustainable transportation. So we will look at the contributions of carbon emissions from various sectors. Obviously, transportation is an important one, as well as something that's growing because countries like China and India, for example, domestic air travel continues to grow as people get richer, economy grows, and international travel shows no sign of abating either. Of course, climate is a big part of cultural exchanges as well. So what are the options in environmentally sustainable transportations? Technologies for super pollutant mitigations. We will define what super pollutants are in the very first chapter. enhancing carbon sinks in natural and working lands. There is lots of options in natural solutions, if we may. And then there are current topics like sea level rise from melting glaciers, atmospheric carbon extraction, which is carbon capture and sequestration. What is the scope of it? What are the available technologies and what are the challenges? Are they scalable? Are they economically viable? Is there a choice really if we want to meet some of the global warming targets to keep the global warming below a certain level? Can we really get there without finding a way to capture carbon and sequester it somewhere? Okay. Local solutions. All global warming is local. Nobody lives in global mean temperature. Nobody lives in global mean sea level. So everybody is worried about what is happening in their backyard and what will happen in their backyard. And you have to keep in mind that eventually or already a problem in one place affects the global system, let's say through supply chains or other transportation issues and so on. So COVID is a good example of how quickly the virus that originated in China ended up becoming a massive force on humanity throughout 2020, and we're still not out of it yet. Okay, so this should be a course that is accessible to non-climate experts, obviously, because this is about climate solutions, and the solutions are not necessarily climate science, even though many are related to climate science, to the extent that you have to still worry about their impact on emissions. But this is also about policies, about people, let's say, who are technologists who want to find solutions, about communities that want to take up climate action, or individuals and teachers who want to teach it. Okay, so the first chapter on climate change, for example, is a very brief introduction. The topic is very broad and very wide and very deep, but we will just make a quick introduction, then move on to other issues as we will see. Okay.